the first thing people typically go to do when they want to improve aspects of their life are add things. Supplements is very trendy and a very common one. They go and add a different modality of exercise. They add sauna and cold plunging. They add fasting. They add this, they add that. This topic that I want to talk about is not about what you should add to your life. The concept of addition by subtraction is a very powerful one. My name is Brian. I'm an executive coach that helps successful professionals get wealthy outside of the office in their mind, their body, and their relationships. I'm an expert at this because I did it myself. I sat in your seat inside of corporate America for 2 decades. If I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to the show. This is the Success Lift podcast. My name is Brian Pannuzzo. Thank you for being back with me. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday weekend. If you're still celebrating it the week after, this is a reminder to get your ass back to it. Let's start moving our butts again, figuratively and literally. It's those transition moments between holiday time, experiential time, and then time to handle your business that I find many professionals screw up. For lack of a better phrase, they just literally, figuratively, whatever way you want to cut it, they screw it up. They don't get back to business as quickly as they should. If you think about the context of a tough weekend for you, personally, you still get up and go back to work on Monday. Hopefully you're listening to this on Monday morning when it drops, and you might even be on your way to work. Do you feel like going to work today? Of course you don't. Of course you don't. You just had 3, 4, maybe even 5 days off. But you got in the car, you got on the train, you got on the bus, you walked, whatever the heck you did, and you are on your way to the office. You're in the office. Maybe you're on your way home on a Monday evening commute. Of course you listen to me on Monday. I can't even imagine anyone who wouldn't listen to me on the day that this recording drops, as I smile sarcastically. And so you get back to it in your professional life. And man, do we not do that overall in our personal lives, and it costs you dearly. I'm a big basketball fan. The concept of transition offense and transition defense are the only 2 things you can control. I heard my great friend, my ex-teammate, Billy Armstrong, head coach of Bergen Catholic High School, who I think is the best youth coach in the game. He was talking about 4 phases of basketball. There's offense, there's defense, there's transition offense and transition defense. And ultimately, the only 2 areas that you are able to control are the transitions, because all it is effort. It is making a commitment to go from one place to another, back and forth, back and forth. And doesn't that sound a lot like our lives, where we are transitioning from family time to work time, to client dinner time, to holiday time, to travel, to meet up with friends, to this, to that, to workout time. And it's like our ability to transition back and forth is really the key. And so, yes, if you did completely detonate yourself from Thursday all the way to Sunday or Wednesday or just Thursday or whatever it is, the sooner you can get back to it to minimize the damage, the better you'll be. And so what the hell are you waiting for? I know that you have a packed schedule later this week. I know that there's a holiday party. I know that there is an office sitch. I know that there might be a client dinner. I know that you might be meeting up with some friends or some clients for quick drinks over the next 7 days. But today, you're probably not doing anything. Today, you're probably just handling your business. And so why not take care of the next 24, 48, 72 hours, whatever it may be, or take care of 23 and a half of the 24 hours today. And maybe that half hour that you meet up with someone for 2 drinks, you have 2 drinks, you have an appetizer, and you go about your business, and it doesn't blow up the rest of your week. When we think about the moments that actually contribute to our demise, I find it to be comical how small they are. Okay? So this week, I want to talk a little bit about things that people do when they are looking to make improvements in their lives. the tendency for us is to add more stuff. It's to look for the next supplement. I promote supplements. And so if you're going to consume supplements, consume them using some of my affiliate links or some of my promotion codes or whatever it may be. The point is I believe in supplements. I use supplements every single day. I take First Form high quality whey protein powder. I take AG1, my athletic greens, the greens powder. Both of those things you hear regularly about on this podcast. I also use a magnesium supplement, DHEA. What else do I do? Vitamin D. So like, I believe in supplements, but the first thing people typically go to do when they want to improve aspects of their life or add things. Supplements is very, very trendy and a very common one. They go and add a different modality of exercise. They add sauna and cold plunging. They add fasting. They add this, they add that. This topic that I want to talk about is not about what you should add to your life. The concept of addition by subtraction is a very powerful one. The concept of minimizing and being minimal, having a minimalistic approach with your health and fitness can take you very, very far. Are there things that we should be consuming, like creatine or whey protein, both of which I consume on a regular basis as part of a high protein, high fiber, high nutrient density diet? Of course there are. But can we get most of the way there? And especially for people who are kind of just starting out, or maybe 25 to 50% of the way there, can we get really, really far by just starting to subtract, some things from our life? Of course we can. And so that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. I want to talk about some things that you should think about reducing or eliminating in your life, because they will take you much further than adding all of these things. So what we're doing is we're stripping down to the foundation of the house. What most people do is they just try to build on top of a shitty foundation. And we want to make sure that we are constantly working on our foundation. And so when people start working with me, we attack how much they're moving. We attack what they're putting in their mouth. We attack maybe their exercise modality. Are you lifting weights? Are you doing some sort of class? Are you Pelotoning? Whatever. Why? Because those three things are going to be the highest leverage points in your transformation as it pertains to your physical appearance. Now, there are so many other things that we work on inside of our mental performance, our relationships, our relational performance. But if you're just talking about like, hey, how do I look a whole lot better than I do right now? Start to focus on those three things. If you focus on those three things, optimize them, do it right, do it consistently, add a component of compound interest, you can't not be successful. And if you say to yourself, I'm doing those things, I do care about those things, and you don't look and feel the way you want, you're not doing it right. That's the bottom line. You're not doing it right. So what are some things that we could start to reduce or eliminate? And this is specifically geared, when I made this list very quickly, I thought about things that I still struggle with, used to struggle with, clients that, struggle with consistently, friends, colleagues, conversations that I have. These are recurring themes that I hear from people. So I believe this is a pretty good, it's not the complete list, but it's a pretty good, thorough representation of what I think more people should be focused on, rather than adding the next thing into your routine, rather than getting in the cold plunge or the sauna, rather than trying a new restrictive diet, rather than going to a new exercise class, rather than picking up boxing or fucking BJJ or whatever it may be. All these things are great and they can help you achieve results, but you will get far better, more impact from cutting things out in your life. What are some of the things that we should be cutting out in our life? The first thing at the top of the food chain, 30,000 feet up, is blaming your situation. Okay? Blaming your situation for your results is complete and utter bullshit. If anybody did it for you, did it to you at the office, you would cut to the chase quickly and you would find out why they're not performing or don't have the results that they currently say that they want. And so while I tell people all the time, and I'll tell you right now, all right, you are a very, very unique individual. There is nobody in the world who is like you, but your problems are generic as fuck, okay? And you constructing that you have this unique set of issues, stresses, anxieties. You don't understand, Brian. I have to work this. I travel here. I commute here. It's all utter bullshit, okay? It's utter bullshit because I have clients that travel 3 to 4 times per week, most of the months of the year. I have clients who are constantly going from meeting to meeting. I have clients who struggle to do the things that you do, yet we figure it out. If there's anybody in the world who has done what you're looking to do with the circumstances that you have, you can do it too. And so the first thing you have to do is stop blaming your current set of circumstances. It is on you. If it was a problem in your business, you would have figured it out in a week. But if it's a problem in your personal life, we let it linger, we blame things, we come up with excuses, and we tell ourselves it's good enough. Please stop doing that. It'll be a huge unlock for you. Now, that's a high level, hopefully a little bit motivational. Maybe I pissed you off a little bit. I don't know. What we're going to talk about next are more tactical things, okay? Tactical stuff. So what can we eliminate from our lives? Well, we all say that we are so busy. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Man, busy, man. Life is busy. If you lead with that phrase, when someone asks you how you're doing, the next thing that person does internally is have their eyes roll to the back of their head. You just may not see it. Nobody cares how busy you are. Stop telling people how busy you are. Stop telling people how life is busy and then telling them all the things that are going on. Like, have a meaningful conversation. And if you find yourself saying life is so busy all the time, then we have to look at what it is you're doing on a regular basis. And the first thing that I would look at as I begin to hold up for everyone on YouTube is the phone. And I hope you notice this phone is dark right now. I cannot turn it on. You know why? Because it's off. It's off right now. All right. I turned the phone off because I didn't want to be distracted by speaking into this camera and once in a while looking over if a text message popped up or if something else happened, or ever so once in a while, I just want to go see, did anyone comment on a social media post that I made? I got to go check that out. I got to respond to them. I got to engage. Screen time is ruining your performance in areas of your life that you truly desire. And so I would highly recommend for you to go to your phone, check the settings, and start to educate yourself on how much you are spending on your phone on a daily basis. It'll even break down the particular apps that you use: podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, text. It is very eye-opening to get this data. It is humbling. It will annoy the hell out of you. You will make excuses why you need to be on it. See, you guys don't understand. I now run a business where I'm on my phone most of the day. So when it says 10 hours and 14 minutes of average screen time use, oh no, you guys don't understand. I'm really working. I'm being productive the whole time. Does that sound like bullshit to you? It is. Is most of my time on my phone productive? I believe it is. Is some of it completely unproductive? 100%. So you can put barriers inside. I have barriers to how long I can stay on a particular app. I can waste too much time on Instagram, for example. So I put a 30-minute timer, a 45-minute timer, a 1-hour timer, a 10-minute timer if it's a day that I don't want to be on it and I don't want to be distracted by it. Start to analyze your screen time like you analyze your business and put boundaries in place so that you can reduce it. What do you do without looking at your phone? Everything else that you say you don't have time to do. Okay. So if you don't have time to make some protein, have some lean protein in your kitchen, you just found 25 to 30 minutes. You don't have time to take an extra walk, to get to the gym or do some exercise, to do some mobility, to have a conversation with your spouse, to connect with your kids, whatever it may be, to start to read that book that you've been saying that you're supposed to read for a period of time. Reduce your goddamn screen time. You'll have time for more of this. Every single person that I meet, that I work with, that I talk to has more time than they say that they do. Okay. What can you completely eliminate from your life next? The snooze button. If you are hitting the snooze button in the morning, you are telling yourself that another 9 minutes of shitty sleep is more important than the thing that you said you were going to do last night. And that promise that you break to yourself the first thing in the morning is just another series of little promises that you tell yourself are okay to not execute on because you decided to do something different in the moment. When you look back, you'll regret it like we always do. I just couldn't get up. I hit the snooze button a few times. Eliminate it from your life. Get up earlier, go to bed earlier, and make sure that you attack your day. The next thing you should do, or maybe the thing you should do before you eliminate the snooze button, is staying up too goddamn late. Eliminate the last 30 minutes of your day. Some people may need to eliminate the last 90 minutes of their day. Trust me, nothing productive is happening in your life from the time of 9:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. If you are up past 11 p.m., I would argue if you're up past 10 p.m. and you're a high-performing professional, you are leaving hours on the table, because that is most likely it's not most likely, it's definitely either time you could be recovering more and sleeping is wildly important. We won't get into that in this podcast. Or you're likely getting up later than you could to execute earlier in your morning when nobody is awake, when work hasn't started, when the kids aren't up, when emails aren't flying in. That is your time. If you find yourself saying, I wish I had more time, and you are not up at 5:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning or shit, even with a 4 handle, I would highly, highly suggest that you slowly start to move your wake up time back. If you're waking up at 6:30 and you're like, I heard this dude on a podcast, he said I should get up at 4 a.m. and you try to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, you're dead. It's never going to work. You're going to tell me that I suck. I don't know what I'm talking about. And you're going to go back to your regular routine. Instead, I would highly suggest that you take your wake up time back 15 or 20 minutes. And conversely, go to bed 15 or 20 minutes earlier. If you try to go to bed at 9:30 p.m. when you're used to going to bed at 11 or 11:30, of course, you're going to stare at the ceiling in bed for an hour or two. And so slowly move that back. Over time, over 3 months or so, start to develop the characteristics of a person who wakes up earlier. What do you do with that time? What do you need to do with that time? What are all the things that you are not prioritizing in your life that you would like to, if I let you lay it out on a piece of paper and tell me what you would like to do? And so most busy, successful executives who do not have enough time typically are not utilizing their early mornings. Obviously, there are exceptions to that rule. There are people who still are as busy as they can be. I work with many of them who are up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning. There are other moments of our day that we can find. That's usually one that we can eliminate. Staying up late. How do we get to bed earlier? How do we remind ourselves? Remember, I'm a big fan of tactical advice, tactical strategies. A PM alarm. You have an alarm that goes off in the morning that you play whack-a-mole with and go back to bed for 9 or 18 minutes. You can set an alarm for 9 p.m., for 9:15 p.m., for 9:45 p.m., whatever it may be, about 30 minutes before you desire to go to bed. Remind yourself that it's time to go to bed. Netflix is not going to remind you that it's time to go to bed. Instagram is not going to remind you that it's time to go to bed. You have to have these pattern interruptions, right? So at 8:15, my alarm might go off to remind me that I want to be brushing my teeth, putting my PJs on, washing my face, and doing my skincare by 8:45 so that I'm in bed at 9, because the alarm goes off at 4:30 or 4:15 or whatever it may be for me. This is my routine, not yours, but you should start to adjust yourself to change these things structurally over time. All right. So that's morning and night. Shift your evening hours to the morning structurally. You think about this from a high level, what you can stop doing and eliminate from your life is staying up late and then hitting the goddamn snooze button. And you do that by setting a PM alarm, slowly adjusting back, and then removing the snooze button. Don't even make it an option. Just take it off. You can take it off your phone. Okay. The next thing that you need to eliminate or dramatically reduce is just those 1 and 2s, just those 1 or 2 drinks that you have on a consistent basis. Now, hear me out. I know you just rolled your eyes. I know you're just thinking, I don't have a drinking problem. Brian, I only have 1 to take off the edge. I'm not an alcoholic. I didn't say any of those things, but most likely you drink too much. Why? Because everybody drinks too much. I would argue there are moments in my life where I still drink too much. And so we can quickly talk ourselves into, it's just 1, 2. I'm just having 1 here. I'm just having 1 there. Yes, you can have 1 or 2 multiple times per week and still live an extremely healthy lifestyle. But the reality is that those are empty calories. The reality is that when we consume alcohol, usually the quality of food that we consume during or after that tends to decline. Usually. Can you eat grilled chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli with 4 vodkas, 2 glasses of wine? Of course you can. Do we tend to pair a couple of drinks with lower quality food? Of course we do. You usually don't get the grilled chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli at the bar when you meet your friend after work for just 1 or 2. The potato chips come out, the wings come out, right? The bar food comes out. You have a couple nibbles of that. You've now had 2 beers and a quick app, and you jump on the train home or the bus home or jump in the car home because it's just 1 or 2. I'm not advocating you drinking and driving. Then we get home. We may not be as hungry. Dinner might not be ready right away, maybe, depending on the timing. I don't know. Maybe we are as hungry because now we've stoked a little bit of fire inside of us. So we start snacking. And so these things tend to commingle. They coexist with each other. All right. Just 1 or 2 usually isn't just 1 or 2. And let's be honest, when I pour a glass of wine, I pour 2 at once, sometimes 2.5. If you pour a glass of scotch, whiskey, vodka, whatever, we're pouring doubles, guys, pouring doubles. So you're just 1 or 2 are really just 2 to 4. Removing unnecessary alcohol in your life is annoying, but it's one of the highest impact decisions you can make. And it's one of the things that I now realize, like, it makes a ton of sense for me to have a few with my wife when we're out on a date night. It makes a ton of sense for me every once in a while to have a tequila and a cigar by myself when I'm disconnecting, thinking, appreciating, having gratitude, all the things. It makes a ton of sense for me to have 8 to 10 with my boys on a Saturday on a golf trip. It doesn't make a ton of sense for me to have 2 glasses of wine a night every night for dinner. I used to do that. It doesn't make a sense for me to have 1 beer when I walk in the door, jump on the couch, turn on the TV after work. I used to do that. It's just 1, just 2, right? Okay. Next thing we want to reduce or eliminate in our lives to make a massive impact: multi-ingredient foods and or grab and go meals. What do I mean by that? Think about a plate of food. I just used the chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli analogy. How many ingredients are in that meal? Likely a few more, but at its core, 3. 3 things, 3 ingredients. How many things can you put on your plate to have 1 ingredient? We tend to go get a chicken parm sandwich, right, for lunch. We tend to eat things that have multiple ingredients. Now, am I saying that if you're eating things that have multiple ingredients, it's unhealthy? No, I'm not. But in general, the more we can reduce the amount of ingredients that are in the foods that we put on our plates, the healthier we will be, okay? The other thing that you should reduce or eliminate as much as possible are all these little grab and go things that we have throughout the day. I just grabbed a bar from the cafeteria at work. I just grabbed a banana. There's nothing wrong with bananas. There's nothing wrong with the bar. But you are likely not consuming enough nutrients. You're not consuming enough protein. You're not consuming enough fiber when you are just grabbing these little things and eating like a bird throughout the day, because you are likely accumulating more calories than you think. And you are definitely not consuming enough critical nutrients for the body composition that you say that you have. And so one great idea for you would be reducing or eliminating the amount of grab and go stuff at the office or multi-ingredient foods, especially at lunch, okay? Like when I say multi-ingredient foods, yes, a big ass salad has many ingredients, but it's tomato, lettuce, chicken, cucumber, right? They're all single ingredient components to a multi-ingredient plate. And so how many of the ingredients can you name on the plate is another thing to think about. If you have 10 of them on one plate, that's great. That's probably a very diverse, nutrient-dense meal, all right? So how many times can you do that, especially for the business as usual moments, breakfast, lunch, all right, snacks? Go have an experience at dinner with your wife, with a client, whatever it may be. The next thing we need to eliminate, we must eliminate, before I do that, before I move on to something we must eliminate, because it pertains to what we're putting in our mouth. The next thing, and very important thing, and massively impactful thing you can do is eliminate figuring out what you're going to put in your mouth 90 seconds before it's time to eat. Think about your workday. Your workday usually is fairly scripted. You know where your meetings are. You know when you have to be. You know your client dinner. You know the next business trip. You plan all this stuff out. Yet during a normal workday, on a Monday or a Tuesday, we absolutely sprint into lunchtime and we have 6 minutes to figure out what we're going to get. And we have to get on our next call and we have no idea. We haven't thought about it. And so all of a sudden someone's going to grab chicken parm sandwiches and we just say, yeah, get me one of those. I have no time. Or that's when we run in and grab a bar from the pantry. All right. We are not putting any thought into what's going in our mouth until 90 seconds before, yet our entire work week is planned out. And so simply just giving consideration and thought and preparation into what's going to go into your body on a daily basis will be a massive, massive performance enhancer for you. You will stick to your plan more often. You will hit your goals. You will feel better. You will feel less stressed. I can't tell you how impactful this is. Stop figuring out your meals 2 minutes before it's time to eat. Start to plan them. Start to put a little thought into them. How am I going to hit my protein goal? And can I get a reasonable amount of fiber in this meal that I'm planning to eat? You know you're going to be at the desk for lunch today. Why not give some thought to what you're going to eat on the commute into the office at a minimum? What you could do is actually have planned it the night before, entered it into your tracking app so that you know what the macros are for the meal. That's all next level stuff that maybe I know some people doing inside of my program who are getting amazing results. The next thing you need to eliminate in your life, please God, is trying to. Okay? I'm going to try to. I should be. I might be able to. It's weak ass language. It's zero commitment. Do it or don't do it. Schedule it. You're not going to try to meet with your next client. You are going to nail them down on your calendar and get a meeting with them and sell them something. Stop trying to go to the gym later. Stop hopefully being able to get out on a date with your wife. Schedule this stuff. Make it part of a commitment that you make to yourself every single week on Sunday by planning you. Another foundational component inside of my program, working with individuals and high-performing executive teams. What gets scheduled, what gets planned, gets done. So schedule it. Stop deprioritizing in your life by saying weak-ass language like, I'm going to try to do this. No, you're not. Something else is going to come up. It's going to take priority over this, and you're not going to do it. So just say it out loud in the beginning. I'm most likely not going to do this because I'm not prioritizing it. All right? Do it or don't do it. Anytime I hear somebody say try to on a call with me, I jump down their throats politely. Are you going to try to do it or are you going to do it? Which one are we doing? I just want to be clear about it. 10 times out of 10, I'm going to do it. How are we going to do that? I'm going to schedule it. Okay, when? Well, let's do it right now. Narrow these things down. If you stop trying to start scheduling, your life will change. I promise you. All right? So a few things to review quickly. Number one, stop blaming. Remove blaming from your life. Reduce it, remove it, eliminate it, get it out. You are not unique. Your problems are not unique. All right? Reduce your phone screen time. Get rid of the snooze button on your phone in the morning. Get rid of staying up late the night before, which will help you get rid of the snooze button. Set a PM alarm. You got to reduce unnecessary alcohol in your life. Just reducing those 1-2s. I'd rather see somebody have 6 to 8. When I see someone's alcohol log or food log and it says 8 drinks, and I inquire, and they're like, yeah, I met up with my high school reunion. I'm like, that must have been amazing. Let's stop with the 1, 2, 1, 2. Like you're just nickel and diming yourself. You're like death by 1,000 cuts. Do something different with your time. Go to the damn gym if you have 30 minutes after you get out of work and you just want to decompress. All right. Reduce or eliminate. Eliminate's not possible, nor do we want to. Reduce the amount of multi-ingredient foods that you're having during business hours. Reduce those little grab and goes. Plan this stuff. Stop figuring out what you're going to eat 2 minutes before you eat it. Make a plan. Stick to the plan. What gets scheduled gets done, right? And for crying out loud, stop trying to do it, right? Start doing it. Start scheduling it. What gets scheduled gets done. Do it or don't do it. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you back here next week. Have a great week.